Red October has come and gone, but with Team Toyota's home field advantage, you'll score even more savings this offseason. Choose from our winning lineup of new Toyotas, like Corollas, Camrys, RAV4s, and Highlanders, all in stock for immediate delivery. Or ship over 200 certified used Toyotas with MVP pricing to deliver quality and value. And when it comes to service and collision repair, our team gets you back in the game fast. So visit us in Langhorne, Princeton, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. You are listening and watching the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. I am Spencer McKercher, digital video producer and host of the pod, joined by the producer of Phillies pre- and post-game live, Sean Kane, once again. Kaner.
Spence.
Good to see you, pal. Happy once a week here, once a week on the Phillies Talk podcast, and there's a lot to catch up on. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a little award season recap. We have three people, I guess you can call them people, I was going to say players, but Rob Thomson.
Phillies.
Three Phillies eligible to win postseason awards. So we will dive into Rob Thomson being a candidate and a finalist for Manager of the Year. Mm-hmm. Cristopher Sánchez, as predicted, a finalist for the National League Cy Young. And, of course, Kyle Schwarber, a finalist for the National League MVP. So as we kind of go on here, we will talk about why we think they deserve to win those awards, even though there will be long shots in all three. But obviously, being a Phillies Talk podcast, we will talk about that.
Talk about their chances.
Correct.
Yeah.
But before we get started, as we've done in the last few pods, the World Series is over, Sean Kane.
It is.
The baseball season, the 2025 baseball season, officially comes to an end.
Yeah.
With the Dodgers being back-to-back World Series champions. And the last time we talked was before Game 6, I believe.
Before Game 5.
Before Game 5.
The podcast got released the morning after Game 5, so we were making our predictions like going into Game 5.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So then kind of a chaotic Game 5. Blue Jays take a 3-2 series lead.
Yeah.
And cannot win the last, just need one more win in Game 6 or 7. And then Game 7 obviously turns out to be one of the better baseball games in the history of baseball. Your takeaways from the Dodgers being back-to-back World Series champions?
Yeah, when we did the last podcast, we made our predictions. And
did.
I said Dodgers in 7, but I said that thinking they were going to win Game 5 at home with Blake Snell on the mound. And then once they lost that game, I was like, oh boy, I think it's going to be tough to go up to Toronto and win 2. They got it done, and just what a World Series. You mentioned Game 7 itself was unbelievable. Game 3 was the 18-inning game. Just one of the best World Series of my lifetime, certainly. I saw some numbers today that Game 7, I think over 51 million people watched, including Canada and North America, obviously.
And even Japan, too.
Japan, which was the most watched baseball game since Game 7 of the 91 World Series, which before your time. But I remember that game. John Smoltz battling Jack Morris, Braves Twins, Game 7. It was like a 1-0 game. It was like 0-0, extra innings, great pitchers duel. But that's how much, how many people were watching. It was the most watched baseball game in
that's wild.
35 years. So just an awesome World Series, man. And Yamamoto, what he did was unbelievable. How he pitched the whole postseason, but specifically in Game 6, he goes up there, throws about 100 pitches, and then no big deal, runs it back the next day out of the bullpen, rightfully named the MVP. But that Game 7, man, so many twists and turns. Where do you start? Rojas. Dave Roberts is where I'll start, and then I'll let you go. The moves he made in Game 6 and 7, letting Rojas play. Rojas came up big for them defensively at the end of Game 6 where Kike doubles off the runner at second. He makes that nice play, hits the huge home run to tie the game off Jeff Hoffman in Game 7. So Rojas just kind of going with him, sticking him in the lineup, and he was huge. They wouldn't have won without him. And then in Game 7, the defensive replacement putting Andy Pages out in center field. I mean, what a catch that was. I mean, that play's getting overlooked in my opinion. I mean, tracking that ball down, if you don't make the play, the World Series is over, you lose. Kike and him going after. You can tell Kike was kind of having trouble. He took a poor route, and he looked like he was kind of getting tied up, and Pages just comes over, and they collide, and what a play. And Dodgers make just enough plays, just like they did against the Phillies, man. They make the plays, but just an awesome World Series.
It was so much fun. And that Game 7 alone, there were so many moments. And you mentioned Dave Roberts again, and that's why we'll get to it eventually, but surprised he's not a finalist for Manager of the Year. I know he has the $1 billion payroll, whatever you want to say, but man, he made every decision
Yeah.
when it mattered most in Game 7, and he deserves a lot of credit. The Paez catch, dude.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He comes in for his arm in reality. Like, it's the middle of the inning, defensive replacement. He goes out there because I think they had, at that point, a runner on second in the inning.
Ernie Clement, who had about 55 hits, it seemed like, in that World Series.
Well, yeah, a record,
in
right?
the postseason,
he had 30 or 31 hits.
And I thought he had another one there, man.
Dude, and off the bat, it was like, oh, can of corn.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see Kike kind of keep running. And you're like,
he was struggling.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Tell you when Kike wasn't struggling, though, was the celebration.
Yeah, he was
that
great.
guy, man.
Yeah.
That guy in the locker room and the parade.
Yeah.
Kike had a good time.
Did we talk about Kike's mentor early in his career when he was with the Dodgers, his first stint with the Dodgers?
I don't think we have.
Utley. Utley was his guy.
Oh, well, that
he
makes
used
a
to
lot of
call
sense.
Chase's dad. That was the joke. They had T-shirts made up, but Chase was his mentor, and he kind of followed Chase around. And
that makes a lot of sense.
He's a gamer like Chase. Obviously, he has more of the outgoing personality, goofing around, where Chase was a little more reserved. But
for sure,
they both make the big plays when they have to, man.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then obviously if you're a Blue Jays fan, I feel awful. And you come in with Jeff Hoffman. I feel bad for Jeff Hoffman. His comments in the locker room after the game, saying I just cost these guys a ring. And
it's tough to live with.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Sertoni, though, battled what he got brought in the 7th. He ended up walking. It was a base hit and 2 walks, bases loaded with no outs, and he got out of that. But yeah, poor Jeff, man. And to Miggy Rowe, dude. Miggy Rowe. And my dad, who's, he's pretty locked into the game of baseball, but even he was like, who's that?
Yeah.
And I was like, I know. He kind of a Phillies killer when he was with the Marlins for a while there in the early 2020s. But
that home run ended up very similar location to Joe Carter.
That it did.
Just obviously.
That it did.
Blue Jays fans weren't celebrating this time.
Oh,
I can't get over the '93 thing. You can't root for the Dodgers, but Toronto, Canadians, generally nice people, Blue Jays. But just 30 years ago, I still am so upset by that result of that game, where a part of me was like, take that, Blue Jays.
Yeah, fair.
Now it's your turn to walk out of that stadium all disappointed.
And our guys here, our Sixers crew here, said, kind of wild that Toronto now knows how it feels. Game of inches in a Game 7 with Kawhi Leonard's shot in 2019 against the Sixers. It's very similar. So they feel the pain that we felt.
And that's as close as you can come to winning a World Series without winning a World Series. That play at the plate.
That's what I'm saying. Bases loaded, bottom 9.
Foot comes up, then it gets down a split second.
Vladdy to lead off the 9th inning.
Yeah. And then
sends one to center.
Paez making that play. There's just so many they could have won so easily.
It's so sad.
It's tough. Even Game 6, Mookie with the big hit. That game came. Then they had rally in the 9th, and Kike makes the play, the double play to end the game. Crazy, man. Just it's a tough one to take for the Blue Jays, but a great World Series. Great for baseball too.
It was It was huge for baseball, and it was funny. I even had my sister-in-law texting me, who not a big baseball fan,
right?
And she was like, "I understand your love for baseball now." And I was like, thank you. It took the Game 7 of the 2025 World Series, but she was there.
Yep.
Locked in and loaded. But so you're with the hey Blue Jays kind of.
Who, me?
Yeah,
in terms of take that Blue Jays type of thing. I know that's what I found myself doing, but you can't really root for the Dodgers either. I was just kind of enjoying the high stakes baseball, the pressure pack. Mookie Betts said it was the most nervous he's ever been on a field. He's talking to himself, stay in this, and then the play he makes. You look at that double play, you're like, it's a routine play. Well, not with the bases loaded in Game 7 of the World Series. To make that play, step on the bag, make a throw as he's moving out towards right field. Just all the plays these guys made were crazy.
Especially in a position that he just started working on.
Yeah.
He was not a shortstop, and now he comes over and makes that insane play to end the inning. Of course, Freddie Freeman then shuts the door down. But man, it was fun. I think it was great for baseball, like you said. I think it was an unbelievable moment in a series for baseball, and I'm glad that we got to witness it. And now, but it's time for 2026. But before we get to 2026, obviously, the topic of the pod we'll get to as well of just why we believe these guys should win these awards. But before we get that, like you mentioned before the show, it's kind of like a little NL East roundup here. And we start with a new general manager.
Yes.
Down in Miami.
More media appearances. He's the front man now. He's going to be talking a lot. It's going to be great. More press. Gabe Kapler press conference is a win for all of us, in my opinion. So sign me up.
And if we don't know what you're talking about, Gabe Kapler is officially announced as the general manager of the Miami Marlins.
Yep.
Imagine that kind of career arc.
Yeah.
You're a player, kind of like a role player, I guess you could say, his entire career. Then he somehow becomes the manager of the Phillies.
And he was in the Dodgers front office before he became a manager of the Phillies.
Correct.
He was working he was on the front lines of the analytics movement in the Dodgers front office, being the guy he is, and yeah, and then he's the manager, and continue on, and then we was the assistant GM down there for the last couple of years, and
making TikToks,
and they've been generally awful, and somehow he gets a promotion, and away we go. Cap's the guy now. Love it. Yeah, making TikToks.
I cannot wait.
Yeah,
I hope he travels. Like we've seen Matt Klentak here in Philadelphia. I believe he still has his house in New Jersey, so he frequents here. But now I need to see Gabe Kapler. Yeah, somewhere walk around CBP at some point whenever the Marlins come to Philadelphia.
Well, I love it.
That's gonna be so much fun, dude.
See if he can't reunite with Ricky Bo and Michael B. Guys,
gentlemen,
certainly we're happy to show him the door. About 4 years ago,
profiling well.
4 years ago, Jesus, he's.
Dude, yeah.
It's amazing to think he hasn't been the manager here in 6 years.
That's crazy.
2019, he was shown the door 6 years ago.
I'll just never forget him standing in front of the dugout, that final game of 2019, shaking everybody's hands. Yeah. Tears coming down.
Look my men in the eyes one last time. Proud to go to war with him.
Oh, I miss Cap,
shoulder
man.
to shoulder.
I miss Cap. And that's the thing. So we're a lot of winter meetings talk here. We're looking forward to it. We actually didn't realize that basically the hotel for the winter meetings, where everything is going to be, is right next to Epcot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like in Disney.
Right in there. All right. I know where that is.
That's going to be interesting. So
you're heading down there.
Heading down there. Yeah, heading down there. We booked some hotels. We booked some flights.
Awesome.
Looking forward to that. There'll be a lot of fun stuff to cover down there. But I think now the thing that I'm going to be looking forward to the most is seeing Gabe Kapler walk with like the Marlins posse and him just like leading the way, like
Cap.
Mighty Duck style. Cap right in the center.
Cap and Kirch.
It'll be awesome. We might have to talk to him.
Oh, definitely.
We might have to talk to him.
You're definitely going to need to
bring him on the pod.
Yep. Oh, that'd be great.
Reminisce about the old days.
Yes. Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So also, there's some changes in the National League East as well. The Braves have a new manager.
Yes, they do.
Looking forward to that.
Walt Weiss,
61 years old. Their bench coach, for the last...
Since 2018.
Yeah, I was going to say
8 years or so.
7-8 years, yeah.
Managed the Rockies.
Sure.
From like 2013 to 15-ish, maybe 16-ish. Didn't have a whole lot of success there, but really, for the most part, with the Rockies, who has played many a season in major leagues with the A's. I remember him when he was a young player coming up. Bounced around, played with the Braves at one point. So yeah, I mean, obviously, kind of has been Snicker's right-hand man. So it's a kind of decision from them to promote from within and keep the same kind of plan going. And they still think they have the core that can win. And obviously, for a couple of years there, they were the rulers of the NL East, but they've dealt with some injuries and just some poor play from some of their guys, and so we'll see. But interesting that they didn't, go out and then bring somebody else in. They're just kind of sticking with that Braves way.
That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me because I feel Snit's been there for so long, and the Braves are that type of organization where they're going to kind of promote within.
Yep.
And that does not surprise me. So good for Walt Weiss. Also, the Nationals have a new manager who is friggin' 6 years older than I am.
I was going to say, is he really that much older than you?
Dude, yeah.
I thought he was like younger than that. I thought he was like 32, 33.
I think he's 36.
Okay.
Blake Butera.
Yeah.
Is the new manager of the Washington Nationals. Oh my God, he's 33.
Yeah. I thought he was
36.
No, man. He's
the same age as Schwarber?
There you go. Yeah, he's going to be younger than a lot of the guys he's managing. Theoretically. Well, they're a young team, the Nationals, but yeah,
Butera.
Man, that could be you in 3-4 years.
Can you imagine?
A skipper. But yeah, that was crazy. An interesting, very interesting hire there.
Blake Butera, the manager of the Washington Nationals, David Martinez, obviously been there forever as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What in the world? The youngest major league manager in over 50 years. Most recently been the senior director of player development for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yep.
He made history at 25 years old in 2018 when he was named the youngest manager of a minor league team. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that happens. Yeah. Like you said, the Nationals are a young team. Have a lot of fun, exciting prospects. We'll see what kind of comes out with Butera.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of change in the division.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
Not the Phils though, and the Mets somehow are still staying the course with their front office and manager, despite that second half meltdown. The Phillies and Rob Thomson.
Yep.
We could segue into your. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the finalists for the awards. Not for me to
segue
that, but Rob Thomson before we get into him a little later.
And are you shocked that there's a name, and I know when Rob and Dave had their end of season press conference, there was a lot of talk about possibly Caleb Cotham's name being out there. One as a manager, two being promoted to something even more than a pitching coach.
Yeah.
Are we shocked that Caleb Cotham is back, or not so much?
Not shocked. I mean, I do think he's done a good enough job where he should, warrant some managerial.
100%.
But who knows? I don't know how these teams view like the pitching coaches. Like, it's obviously you're just so focused on the pitching. Do you really wouldn't you rather hire like a young bench coach, a guy who's kind of involved in the whole process? But obviously, we've seen pitching coaches become managers. It's not unheard of. So it didn't shock me that he hasn't yet been hired by anybody. I know Dusty Wathan has had some interviews in the not too distant past. So interesting to see if any of the Phillies coaches, head elsewhere. But it looks like at this point, with the exception of this new bench coach they're going to hire because they move Mike Calitri to that on-field manager or whatever, no, field manager. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Field director. I forget the title.
Sure.
But anyhow, we know what we're talking about. So, yeah, it looks like the coaching staff's going to be pretty much the same, barring anybody leaving here in the next couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And we were looking at names as that new bench coach, and it sounded like what Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thomson both said is that they want a former manager as that bench coach, kind of as Rob's right-hand man, getting second opinions on certain decisions. There's names like Brandon Hyde, the former Orioles head coach.
Yep.
There's names like David Ross, the former Cubs manager. And then it's funny, I was actually reading a story the other day. Andrew Knapp's name was thrown out there.
Napper.
Just retired in 2025. I don't know where that would kind of fit in with Rob Thomson.
Yeah.
However, he played under Rob, between
played for
2018 and 2021 and Cap and all that stuff when Rob was the bench coach under Cap.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I don't know.
Rob, I saw Derek Shelton's name.
Derek Shelton's name has
he
been...
had coached with him, I think, in the Yankees organization at one point.
Yes.
There's some ties there. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be somebody that Rob Thomson has some familiarity with. And, it'll be an interesting hire because they're going to rely on that guy to, as you said, kind of a new set of eyes, new perspective, and make him a little bit better, hopefully.
Yeah, and it sounds like Shelton will get an interview with the Minnesota Twins manager job here coming up before, obviously, the season comes along. Shelton was under the Rob Thomson staff at the All-Star game, and he ended up managing the Yankees Gulf Coast League team in 2000 and 2001, and then took over for their short season A-ball team in 2002.
Yep.
So, and most recently with the Pirates, and he was there when they were rebuilding, and it wasn't great. So
tough to be a winner with the Pirates at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Last bit of tidying up kind of news. The Phillies spring training schedule has come out today on Wednesday.
Yeah.
November 5th. A lot of fun. We were talking about it here in the office. They don't have a home weekend series. So they're either away or home on Saturday, Sunday, the entire spring training, which is kind of wild. But the thing that caught my eye the most is that on March 4th, I believe it's March 4th or March 5th. I believe it's the 4th, though. They will be playing Team Canada.
Yes, WBC.
Getting ready for the World Baseball Classic, which starts on March 5th and runs through the March 16th. Pretty cool with Rob playing Team Canada.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where
Freddie
the connection
Freeman
came
was on
out.
that team. I don't know if he'll be on that team again. But
Correct. There's some big league guys on that Team Canada, but that should be fun, right?
That'll be awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Them coming to Clearwater at Baycare Ballpark. So we'll see Team Canada play the Phillies in spring training.
Yeah, WBC sneaking up on us again, man. It just seems like yesterday that Trey Turner in 2023 was the hero of a couple wins for Team USA.
Yep.
That was a big storyline, if you remember that 23 season. Trey obviously didn't have a great start. There were some other guys that started slow. And, Rob Thomson was pretty outspoken about just the guys, the awesome thing they did. But, you're pretty much away from camp between getting ready for these games and playing these games. And it's a long time, and it's a pretty disruptive thing in spring training. As we know, baseball guys are creatures of habit, and it takes them out of the routine a little bit. And it was an adjustment for some guys to make coming out of that. So we'll see, who from the Phillies gets the call to participate. I know they have a tough time getting pitchers to commit to it because that really takes them out of their element. Obviously Zach Wheeler's not going to be a candidate to pitch for Team USA. I don't know that Aaron Nola would be asked. Maybe he would be. But anyhow, it'll be interesting to see which Phillies. Schwarber was on the team. Turner was on the team. Will Harper want to play? I'm assuming as he gets older, that might be something he'd be interested in playing.
Correct.
We'll see. JT was the catcher last year. I don't know if they'll go a different direction. But maybe JT's in the mix again. So Interesting.
It is going to be interesting. I know Cal Raleigh, I think, already committed to playing too.
Okay.
So that's going to be a fun little storyline to follow. But yeah, and I know Taijuan Walker pitched for Team Mexico in 2023.
Yeah, Ranger pitched
for Team Venezuela.
Yeah. Sanchez, I'm sure, will be asked to pitch.
Have to. And he should be the top ace, I believe, for the Dominican team.
Yeah.
So that could be a lot of fun there.
Zeus maybe pitches for Team USA.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Some options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely some options on this Phillies team. And obviously Schwarber will be on that. But we'll see where Kyle Schwarber will be playing.
Yeah.
Come March 5th. And hopefully it's with the Phillies, which we'll dive into that too. But before we get to some season awards with these three guys, we got to hear from our favorite commercial of the season. Take it away, Tom and Ruben.
Hey, T-Mac, another great day, best fans, the best city. How lucky are we?
It doesn't get much better than this. But I got to tell you, our guy missed a lot of the game last night. I think he missed almost a full inning going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, he said he kept feeling like he had to go, and then nothing would come out.
I think he went back 3 times before the 7th inning. Now, that's more than just having too many beer bats.
Nope, it sounds like BPH. It's more common than you think.
Well, it's time to stop holding it about prostate health. Good thing we've got our friends at Temple Health who are way smarter about these things than we are. Let's let the doc explain. So, Doc, what's going on with our guy?
Sounds to me like he's got this problem called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It really means that guys just have trouble peeing.
But there's a solution to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At Temple Health, there are doctors that really specialize in BPH. Aquablation is one of those things that we offer that many people don't, and other things like prostate enucleation as well. Both of them are minimally invasive that really help guys.
And for most patients, they come out of it feeling fine.
Yeah, I think most patients have a really simple recovery that's straightforward.
Well, that's a big win, because it's better than going to the bathroom a dozen times during a ball game.
Oh, absolutely. These results for guys are long-lasting. Let's face it, prostate health shouldn't be keeping guys out of the game.
Hey, I ran into our guy again. No more backroom sprints. He's back in the game.
He told me it was like the most relief he's had in years, in more ways than one. I mean, he even stayed for extra innings.
Aquablation therapy at Temple Health. Get back in the game. Visit templehealth.org.
Welcome back in. This is Phillies Talk presented by Team Toyota. Shout out to our partners over at Temple Health and Tom and Ruben for their amazing acting skills as always.
Yep.
All right, let's dive in, Sean Kane. So
Yes, sir.
starting literally in about a week, we are going to get some end of the season awards. And it's always one of our favorite times of the year. Before we get started, Bryce Harper did not win a Gold Glove, in case you missed that.
Yep.
Last week, Matt Olson is the first baseman, Gold Glove for the National League. We can talk about Bryson Stott. We did many of times of why he got snubbed. Bryce Sarang ends up winning that for the first time in his career. So now let's move on, though. So in my opinion, we're going to start with Manager of the Year. And obviously, I personally didn't expect Rob Thomson to be a finalist for Manager of the Year. Led his team, though, to a second straight National League East Division title.
Yeah.
However, he's going up against Pat Murphy of the Brewers.
Yep.
And Terry Francona of the Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
Two very tough finalists for Rob to try to beat out, especially when Francona takes the Reds to their first playoff appearance since 2013, minus the COVID year. And then obviously Pat Murphy leads the Brewers to the best record in all of baseball.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you, Sean. What are your expectations for Rob? Is he going to finish maybe second?
Maybe.
Or who's your pick to win?
Yeah, no, I mean, well,
Manager
first of
of
all,
the
first you're like, oh, wow, he's a finalist. But then you look around the National League and you're like, it kind of makes sense because, Dave Roberts, the Dodgers had an underwhelming regular season by their standards.
Right.
They didn't run away with the best record in the history of baseball that people thought they might.
That's a good point.
After the offseason. Obviously, in the NL East, the Mets and Braves disappeared. And the Central, Craig Counsell with the Cubs, they had a nice year, but relative to their expectations, their payroll was pretty big. So, anyhow, I thought they settled on the right 3 finalists. When you think about Rob Thomson, Pat Murphy of the Brewers, and Terry Francona of the Reds, got the Reds into the postseason. I think Rob Thompson's a good candidate for it. I think they had a great season, the Phillies. They dealt with a lot of issues, some injuries to key guys, won the NL East for a second straight year. But I do think that Pat Murphy, who we've talked about before on this podcast, we've argued about the Brewers during the season. During the postseason, I conceded that maybe you were right about them after they were swept out of that NLCS.
Thank
but
you.
I think regular season-wise, I believe 97 wins for the Brewers, which we know is the best record in baseball.
Yep.
Also a franchise record, I think, 97 wins for Milwaukee.
I believe so.
And he's just, they have a payroll that it's a small market. Like, they don't have those big stars. They have great players, but I just think they play the right way. He had them ready to go. Like, he was Council's right-hand guy for all those years in Milwaukee, and he kind of slid over into that manager's chair and has done a great job. Guys love playing for him. They don't beat themselves. They do the little things well. And for that collection of talent, that collection of payroll to win 97 games, I think a lot of that credit should go to the manager. So Pat Murphy's my choice.
That's your guy, Pat Murphy, man.
Yeah.
If you listen to the pod before, big Pat Murphy guy.
Sure am.
I think I am with you. Obviously, if you give it to Francona, I mean, 83 wins. They made the wild card kind of last second to a point. They kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they edged out the Mets. Yep.
The Mets collapse really helped that. But yeah, Murphy, he replaced Craig Counsell, immediately stepped in, and they didn't really do a lot this offseason too. So to lead that team, and Rhys Hoskins, right, to 97 wins and the best record in baseball, it is tough.
And Rhys was hurt for a while. Like, they did have some injuries, some guys too.
Sure. And I think the thing for Topper, like I said, I didn't expect Rob to be a finalist, but I think it is kind of not eye-opening, but it is nice to see that he won their second straight division title, and easily. Like, it wasn't a battle like everyone expected it to be. Yeah. It was supposed to be this big challenge, and really Rob didn't. I mean, the Phillies didn't really. They kind of turned it into not a challenge and kind of ran away with that division. So I get that part. It would be cool to see Rob finish second, but going to be really tough for Terry Francona, or to outbeat Terry Francona and Pat Murphy. Yeah. And obviously, going into this, we all know. And if you don't know, these awards are voted on before the season ends. So everything that comes up, playoffs aren't included. Even like really the last week of the season really isn't included. So it's all voted on before any of this kind of finishes up. But we'll see. I do think Pat Murphy does take it away. But I would love to see Rob Thomson. Yeah, he deserves one of these at some point.
And as you said, like, great to see him recognized as one of the best managers in the National League, because he has been, and he has been for the last 4 years since he took over. He's done a great job. I know some people weren't happy with some things in the postseason, but Rob Thomson wasn't the reason they lost the NLDS. I'll say that for the 100th time.
Yep, I'm glad we're on the same page with that. But good for Rob. Hopefully, maybe a few first place votes. We'll see. But
all right.
Let's move on. We're going to go to Cy Young next.
Yes.
And where our guy, Cristopher Sánchez, is a finalist. Deservingly. So he finished 10th in Cy Young voting in 2024. In my opinion, he should finish first in Cy Young voting this year, because what he did this season in absence of Zach Wheeler, even before Zach Wheeler's absence, was really jarring, and that guy deserves all of it. But he's going against Paul Skeens, and he's going against the World Series MVP in Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on where this could go? Because I will get into why I believe that man should win his first career Cy Young in a second.
No, I mean, obviously 3 really good, deserving finalists. Just like Rob Thomson, in my ballot, I would have Chris Sanchez second. And I know the arguments. Paul Skeens would be my pick. I know the arguments that, Paul Skeens didn't pitch for a contender, and Paul Skeens had no pressure on him for the last basically 5 months of the season. The Pirates are obviously never really in contention. Whereas Sanchez, Sanchez had a Cy Young worthy season. I don't think, to me, it's just I think Skeens deserves it a little more. He had a little better year. But Sanchez certainly could win it. I mean, he deserved recognition for it. And any other year, or most years, I think he might be a leading candidate to win it. He was great, and he stepped up after Wheeler went down. I know you explained just a minute ago that it doesn't involve the postseason, but to me, like, what he did in the postseason was great. He was great in Game 1, great in Game 4. Like, he deserved a lot better than the Phillies to lose both those games he started. And yeah, man, he just goes the distance. He's efficient. He gets it done. He makes every start. And, like, he never has – maybe he had one rough start in New York, but he never has, like, that 7 earned and 4 innings. No. Like, even his bad starts are, like, 4 earned and 6 innings. And, like, he's just not sharp, but he gets the job done. His changeup and his sinker are just elite. So he's great. But I just think Skeens had a little better of a year, had a little better of a ERA. I know there's some advanced metrics that favor Sanchez, but to me, Skeens kind of across the board, I think his numbers were a little better. And I do think the pitching on the Pirates actually makes it harder in a way for him, too. I mean, it's tough to get up. It's tough to, like, they expect every 5th day for you to get the job done. Not getting a lot of run support, and you got to go out there and you got to stay sharp. And I just think he was dominant. And I know, as I said to you, I'd like to see him catch a break. You know, he struggles with the ladies. You know, he's going to sign probably a $500 million contract in about 2 years with somebody, probably the Yankees or Dodgers. We won't get to that, but you know, Paul deserves something good to happen to him. So, you know, let's
2 All-Star game starts.
Yeah,
not
enough.
enough.
And he really struggled to get to the big league level. It was a long journey for him. You know, overlooked prospect out of a small college, and to really get himself
national
up there.
champion.
Yes. So hopefully, Paul, something can go his way here.
GD.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. It's hard to look past a 1.97 ERA over 32 starts for Paul Skeens. That's really what's going to do it. He had 5 earned runs, allowed 1 game this season. Sanchi had 6 earned in 1 game this season. You mentioned that Mets game where he was throwing the trash can and was really upset in the dugout.
Yeah.
But other than that, Sanchi didn't allow 5 earned runs. He allowed 4 earned runs 3 times, 3 earned runs only 3 times in this entire season.
Yep.
That's remarkable for a guy that's kind of developed into one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. 13-5, 2.50 ERA in 32 starts this season. Career high 212 strikeouts and walked in only walked 44 in a career high 202 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Take a bow, Cristopher Sánchez.
Yeah,
take a bow because that kid deserves all of this. Obviously, the changeup was disgusting all season long. Opponents only batted 170 against it, which ranked 11th out of 96 pitchers. Minimum of 250 changeups thrown. We talked about it on the pod before. I think that changeup was the best pitch in all of baseball.
Yeah.
So it says opponents whiffed at 45.1% of his changeup, which ranks second behind Skubal. Sanchez struck out 130 batters to lead all of baseball on his changeup this season. I think, you know, it's similar to Wheeler and Sale, where I thought Chris Sale deserved a Comeback Player of the Year award, where Zach Wheeler was Cy Young.
Yeah.
I think there should be a Most Improved maybe award, and Cristopher Sánchez should get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a pity award because I thought Chris Sale, I even said that I believe, like, you know, I think Chris Sale deserves kind of a pity award for Comeback Player of the Year instead of a Cy Young. Cristopher Sánchez deserves Most Improved because what that guy has done is incredible.
Yeah, he went from very good to great.
Unbelievable. To arguably a top 5 pitcher in all of baseball.
And what a joke he wasn't an all-star. I mean, that's the biggest travesty. I mean,
don't...
You know, like it wasn't even an all-star. And somehow it doesn't get voted in. And
you know
Jacob
who was
Mizorowski.
Sure, man. Freaking Andrew Rabbit.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, Sanchez was great, and you know, again, I do think that half a run difference in the ERA is notable. It's not like he had a little better. Half a run's a lot, and you know, Sanchez's ERA was great, but you said it, a 1.97,
32 starts.
Yeah, he took the ball every 5 days. Skeens, so yeah, Skeens would be getting my vote.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I hope Cristopher Sánchez. I think he's going to finish second. He should.
Yeah,
obviously, I'm glad because what Yamamoto did in the World Series, and even in the playoffs, 3 complete games in the playoffs, 2 in the World Series, or did he have 2 in the World Series? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think he had 1 against the Brewers, 1 against the Blue Jays. Right. I don't think he went the distance in Game 6.
Fair.
Of the World Series.
So I'm glad it's not voted on after that because that's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And he deserved World Series MVP. But I hope Cristopher Sánchez finishes second.
Yeah.
If not first, because what that kid did this season is remarkable. And we'll always remember Cristopher Sánchez in 2025. And we said it multiple times, that contract will be probably the best contract in all of baseball over the next few years because they got a steal and signed him early. And for him to develop into literally a top 3 pitcher in all of baseball says something a lot about Cristopher Sánchez and his development.
Yeah, and one of the best seasons by a Phillies starting pitcher in recent memory, and there's been some really good ones. Like, not just with Wheeler recently, and Nola's had some good ones, but you know, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels. Like Cristopher Sánchez was this season he put together. You're correct, like Cy Young worthy, and just an excellent season
as a lefty too. I mean, he's got to be thrown in there with Cole as arguably the best left-handed pitcher. I mean, obviously, you have lefty in Carlton for sure. Yeah. But in recent memory, you know, Cristopher Sánchez 2025 season deserves up there in maybe the top 5 of one of the best left-handed pitching performances in a season that we've seen as a Philly. We'll close the book on Sánchez. I hope he wins it. He's not going to, but I hope he does.
Yeah.
Now to the fun one, Kyle Schwarber.
Mm-hmm. MVP?
He better be your 2025 MVP. He's not gonna, and just like Sánchez, he's not going to make it.
Right.
He won't win it because what Shohei Ohtani has been doing and has done is remarkable. if Kyle Schwarber was on the mound and had, I mean, he's technically still has a 0.00 ERA.
That's right. Lower ERA.
Way lower ERA.
Yeah.
But it's him, Juan Soto, and Shohei Ohtani as the finalists for 2025
Not a bad
National
group.
League MVP. Obviously, the last MVP came in 2021 with Bryce Harper. Where do you think Kyle's going to sit? Is it going to be second, just like Sanchez?
And Rob Thomson,
Yeah,
yes.
Rob
I think he will come in second, Kyle Schwarber. Interesting to note, though, they just last week announced the MLBPA Players' Choice Awards, which the players vote on. And he was the National League Most Outstanding Player, which obviously Shohei Ohtani was up for that, and Schwarber won that. So
voted on, like you said, by the players.
By the players, yeah. So I think that's of note, and the players obviously recognizing him for the outstanding season he had. But yes, I think Ohtani wins the MVP. I think it's going to be pretty decisive, the voting. Great offensive season. Didn't have as many home runs and RBIs as Kyle Schwarber, but he did hit 50-plus home runs. He scored a ton of runs. His average is OPS. A lot of offensive numbers were higher than Schwarber's, really, other than home runs and RBIs, which are no small categories. But then you factor in the fact that he did come back and he pitched. I don't know off the top of my head what his ERA ended up being, but it was, I want to say, low 3-ish or right around there. Yeah. And he pitched enough in the regular season where it was a decent sample size. Like, obviously, he didn't come close to 100 innings because they kind of brought him along gradually. But, towards the end of the regular season, he was pitching. We saw him against the Phillies at the end of the regular season. Then, obviously, in the postseason, we saw him do what he did. Not that counts in the MVP voting, but I just think the pitching, being what it was, puts him over the top, and another great offensive season for him. So Ohtani's going to win his second straight National League MVP and his fourth MVP career in the last 5 years. And I believe, now if he does win the fourth, I believe the only guy with more would be Bonds.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So, I mean, that's pretty unbelievable in baseball history.
And it's going to be tough to kind of dethrone the king, per se.
Yeah.
If he's going to be sticking around in the National League, which obviously he will be for the next however long that contract is. As for Kyle, again, you and I have had this debate. Me and Corey used to have this debate on the pod. MVP, in my opinion, is the most valuable player to a team. And we talked about it for basketball. We talked about it for football. We talked about it for everything. Stats are one thing. Kyle Schwarber has the stats to back it up. NL leading 56 home runs. MLB leading 132 RBIs. Mm-hmm. But it's not just that. It's the most valuable player to your team. So if you factor in Trey, kind of struggling to begin the season and dealing with hamstring injuries. Bryce Harper missing almost a month of the season with a wrist injury. Bohm and Trey both also kind of not really, Stott and Bohm and even Marsh struggling out of the gates. Kyle Schwarber never wavered.
No.
Never wavered once. Finishes with 56 home runs. I mean, the guy produced every single night for the Philadelphia Phillies, played in every single game. And if the Phillies didn't have Kyle Schwarber, I don't think they win 95 games. I don't think they win the National League East. I don't think they even get the bye in the National League playoffs. Kyle Schwarber was the heart and soul of this team, really for the first time in his Phillies career, because obviously the debate has always been, whose team is it? It's Bryce. It's been Bryce's team. Mm-hmm. But this year it was Kyle Schwarber's team. And he was the most valuable player to this team and to really this city over the last 9 months. Yeah. So, again, it's been the debate around sports for years where you have the most valuable player and you have stats like Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen last year. Josh Allen, in my opinion, was more valuable to the Bills than Lamar Jackson was to the Ravens because Lamar Jackson had better stats, just like Shohei has better stats. And even though his 2.87 ERA over 47 innings is whatever it is, Kyle Schwarber deserves this National League MVP. Yeah. He's finished twice. He finished 19th in MVP voting in 2023. He finished 16th in MVP voting in 2022 and 15th last season in 2024. He deserves to win it this season. The players in Major League Baseball saw it. I hope some of these writers did as well because that guy deserves the National League MVP. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
I just looked up the Ohtani numbers to get them specific, just the offensive numbers.
Yeah, I know.
146 runs.
I know.
That's wild.
I believe, what did you say in the pod the other day? You're like, he had like 250 runs.
Yeah.
Because it sounded right.
Yeah. 55 homers, over 100 ribbies, OPS north of 1,000.
Yep.
The numbers are ridiculous. And that's just the offensive side of it, obviously. But yeah, it's just going to be tough to deal with that with a guy that puts up that offensive numbers, and then he's one of the best 5 pitchers in the sport too, and
And hey, if you want to talk numbers like that, Shohei had a 3-run home run game and pitched 6 innings in a playoff game. That's sick. But did he have a 4-home run game?
No,
he did not.
He did reach base 9 times in a World Series game, though. If that interests you. No, he did not. Schwarber was great. No, he was great. It was. You said the heart and soul stuff is so true. They don't have anywhere near the type of season they had without him. So,
absolutely not.
Awesome season.
And now to wrap that up, you got to resign him.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the goal.
You got to resign him.
Yes.
And it's so funny. I've seen so many things. Actually, I just pulled it up here. So obviously, everyone, all the national media outlets are throwing out numbers and stuff out there, and we've been debating it for quite a long time now on what this is going to look like. And speaking of, just a quick preview, starting next week. Sean and I both decided that, we said once the season wraps up, that's when we'll really dive into the offseason. So now that the season wrapped up, we will have trade targets. We'll have free agent. We're going to predict where the top 30 free agents will land. Some trade targets for the Phillies, where some of these guys are going to sign. And then we're going to bring on some special guests as well. But I wanted to see, where was this? There was a ESPN. So here's projected contract. ESPN. So it's passing only, all those guys. 4 years, $132 million.
For Schwarber. Okay. Interesting.
Our NBC Sports has 4 years, $128 million.
Okay.
Baseball America, 3 years, $110. The Athletic, 5 years, $145. And Jim Bouton has 5 years, $160.
Yeah, I tend to go the 5 150-ish route. So in between that, 5 145 and 5 160.
Do you think it's going to be 5?
I do. Yeah, I think it'll end up being 5. I'm sure the Phillies would love it to be 4.
Yeah.
But I think there are some other teams out there that might push it up to 5. You mentioned somebody had 3 years. Like, I'll be shocked if it's only 3 years.
No.
Like, obviously, the annual average value was higher in that one, but I think Kyle will probably want 4 at least, and then probably push for 5. So, I think we talked about this the last pod or 2 pods ago that, I'm thinking 5 and 150-ish is kind of where I expect it to land.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you give me, because it's going to be, and I saw Passon had a quote in his article today where he said the Phillies need Schwarber more than Schwarber needs the Phillies.
Yeah, interesting.
And I completely agree with that. We just talked about how invaluable he was to this team. I completely agree with that.
And there's so many teams like that you could link him to. Like, does he go back to Chicago?
Does he
obviously played for Boston. He's from Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to spend the money, but I'm sure he would love to go home and play for his hometown team in Cincinnati under what appears to be an up-and-coming franchise with Francona. So there'll be some bidders in the market for sure.
It's going to get wild. And it starts today. So if you're listening to this Thursday, free agency will start at 5 p.m. Looking forward to that. Speaking of 5 p.m. and on Thursday, on Tuesday night, Harrison Bader declined his mutual option with the Phillies. It was a $3 million buyout or a $10 million player option. He declined that, so Harrison Bader is officially a free agent. Then, as expected.
Yeah, I don't think that surprises us.
No. And then they have Jose Alvarado, who, in my opinion, I believe, and it sounded like in Dave Dombrowski's end of season press conference, they will pick up that option by 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah, he all but said, he was asked specifically, I think Matt Gelb asked him in that press conference, and he's like, I would expect us to do that. Yeah. So never say definite until they actually do it. But yeah, I think Thursday is the deadline for that, 5 o'clock maybe.
Correct.
Tomorrow,
so
Thursday.
Free agency starts at 5 p.m., so the Phillies have until then to get an agreement with Jose, which I believe they will.
Yeah,
we will see Jose Alvarado next season.
$9 million, is that?
Phillies, I believe it's $9 million.
Seems reasonable. You would
Completely.
Think.
Just,
Bader's interesting.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, Bader's interesting. I'm sure he's going to want a multi-year deal. And how much stock do the Phillies put in those 50 games that he played for them?
What do you expect his AAV to be?
I don't know. It depends. What's the market going to be for him?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's coming off the best season of his career.
Yeah, he's been bouncing around, and obviously he discovered something that a little more power at the plate. Obviously, he's a great center fielder, but he's 31, 32. Yep. He's I don't know. Like, does somebody give him 2 years and $25 million? I don't know. Yeah. I don't think he's getting like a 3-year. I don't know.
I'd expect it to be somewhere 2 to 30 range.
Okay.
15 mil a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 million a year. If someone wants to go crazy with him. We'll see. We'll see with Harrison Bader. I would love to bring him back, and that's a different pod.
Yeah, it seemed to fit in well in the clubhouse as well, in addition to, and the fact that, again, him getting hurt in that series was huge in a bad way.
It was the difference of the series, in my opinion. 100%. Gosh, I still can't believe they lost that series. All right, to wrap up, you and I talked. We haven't talked since last night. Tuesday night, big night.
Yes. Dancing with the Stars. Is that where you're going?
That's
Dancing
where
with
I'm
the
going.
Stars. So I was at work, and you left and told me to tune in. So I had it on a little bit. The Sixers and Flyers were both playing.
Yep.
But I tuned in. I know you were at the end a little disappointed that Topanga.
I mean, no, it's expected.
Okay, as
Topanga's-
expected. That
Topanga's
wasn't like a
toast.
big surprise to you. Okay, she was toast. Yeah, but no, that's exciting. Dancing with the Stars. I'm going to try to get into it a little bit more, but I did take a peek, and some really talented performers. I can see why you're hooked.
It's very talented performers.
Yes.
We had the 3 TV setup last night. We had Dancing with the Stars on main TV.
Right.
Duke basketball season got underway.
Oh,
Good win over Texas.
What a night.
75-60 winners. Didn't look great. Don't love the team. One game in, figure that out. Then I had the Ohio. We had a little action last night. Ohio versus Miami of Ohio.
Yep.
Fun times. But we were locked in. It's gonna get crazy now. It's gonna get crazy with Dancing with the Stars because now it's like the main good people.
Right.
I think
That's when it
there's
gets real.
7 people left, 6 people left, and it's like I don't know who's going to get voted off next week.
Okay.
Flava Flav was a guest judge.
I saw that. Okay. Interesting.
I don't know how sober that man was.
Yeah. All right.
But
Didn't
he had a good
realize he
time.
was a well-respected judge of
Didn't either.
dancing and performance.
Guest judge.
Okay.
Didn't say a lot,
All
but giving out 10s left and right. So
good.
That concludes our Dancing with the
exciting.
Stars segment.
Yes. Okay.
How was Halloween? So
Halloween was great.
Last time we talked.
Yeah.
Did you wear the spider costume?
I did not. So we mentioned on the last podcast, which we taped with our costumes on, that my youngest son was going to be Johan Duran.
That he was.
Which he was. He went to school with his Duran jersey on. He trick-or-treated with his Duran jersey on, and the music was going constantly.
Yep.
In fact, my wife, Amy Fadul, who works with us, took a video of him before school that morning where I had my phone out. He runs in our front door after we dropped his brother off at the bus stop. And he comes running in, and he does his whole entrance, and he does his warm-up pitches. So Amy sent that out on Instagram, and sure enough, later that night, Johan Duran saw it and shared it with his followers, and whatever it is, reposted it on Instagram. There you go, his story. Yes.
Yep. That was on the story.
So my son Baker, the fact that he doesn't really care about the social media aspect, but that he knows now that Johan saw it, and Johan loved it, and Johan liked it, Dad. He really thought I did a good job, and he likes my pitching. So that was the highlight of our Halloween for sure.
Awesome, dude.
Yes.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it last night. At 5 years old, obviously growing up, neither of us had social media back then.
Right.
But even just like when I got a high five from a player, it was like the coolest moment in the entire world. So the fact that like Bake can now realize that Johan Duran watched him do his whole warm up and stuff is one of the cooler things I've ever heard.
Yeah, there's a lot of negatives to social media sometimes, but stuff like that is cool because it does kind of shrink the world. And
that it does.
How else is Johan Duran going to see this 5-year-old that dressed up as him as Halloween and had the music
playing.
in the entrance and all that? So that was a really cool thing, and he'll have that video, and the fact that Duran saw it and shared it with all his followers, that's a pretty cool deal.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. And on like that same note but different, you were also in that video. So Duran knows.
He saw me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. I was in the
So,
clubhouse a few times. Maybe he says,
that's
that
what I'm
guy in the
saying. He's
clubhouse?
like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's trying to put 2 and 2
Those
together.
are the guys from the Phillies Talk podcast?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm sure he's a loyal watcher and listener, no doubt.
John, if you're listening, hey bud, how's it going?
Yes.
But good, man. Glad
Yeah, that was cool.
Went well. So if you weren't the spider, what were you?
Yeah. So Amy had the idea that we went out as 6'7", the number 6 and the number 7. I was the 6, she was the 7. You can explain it better than me.
I know nothing.
Both of my kids constantly say 6'7", 6'7". They do the whole hand thing.
I don't get it.
It's a meme of some sort.
Sure.
I have no idea how it started, but I can tell you we were stopped every 5 minutes as we walked around our friend's neighborhood. Kids coming up, 6'7", 6'7". Kids were taking pictures with us, and then Amy had it all lit up, so it was dark. You could see us coming a mile away. People yelling across the neighborhood, 6'7", and we weren't standing in the right order. Kids would be like, "What are you doing? You gotta,
76. Cheer for the
Which would have worked
Sixers.
for the Sixers too, sure.
Right.
But yes, we were 6'7", and the popularity is crazy of that whole thing right now.
It's so awesome.
Yeah,
it's so awesome. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I got nothing on the old
certainly
6'7". I got nothing on the old 6'7". But anywho, I'm glad. Good Halloween.
Good Halloween.
Hell of a
Yours
time.
was good.
Good time. Yeah, had some people over from work.
Good.
Made a spooky punch.
Oh,
it was good.
nice.
It was good.
All
It
right.
was good.
Yes.
It was basically sangria, but it was good.
Good.
We had a good time.
The different phases of Halloween, Spooky punch, hanging out, and
A lot of
I'm
people-
walking around as 6'7" in a neighborhood.
We were there at some point. And I will get there at some
Yes,
point as well.
indeed.
So yeah, that was a good weekend. Spent the time. Went home. Spent some time with my dad, which was really cool.
Oh, good.
So I don't know if you're still listening. Good for you. I appreciate it. Big Christmas lights guy.
Oh,
we
yeah.
go nuts for Christmas lights. So November 1st, Saturday.
Oh, wow. He goes early.
Me, Sophia, and my dad were on the roof. We're hanging
Wow,
lights.
November 1st. So I wait till Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I usually
know.
do it like that Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving at our house.
But I'm not gonna lie, like we have so many of them.
Yeah.
Like we won't be done until like Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Like we started.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
a lot, dude. So
Okay.
try to go home as much as I can. My mom's out visiting her sister in California, so dad's home alone. So we ended up going home and knocking them out. So
Very cool.
we'll figure that out. There's more times for that. We'll,
Yes.
maybe we'll get a picture later in December pods. But
Uh-huh.
all right, well, hey, it's officially the off season.
Yeah.
And we're excited. There's a lot of storylines here over the next several months. If you're listening to this on Thursday morning, free agency starts at 5 p.m. officially. Looking forward to it. There's going to be trades. There's going to be names out there that you don't expect to be traded, not just with the Phillies, but in other organizations. There's going to be different guys. There's a lot of big names that are free agents that will be signing with different teams. We'll get to that as well. So looking forward to that. And again, we'll have some special guests as well as this offseason kind of motors on, because before we know it, man, we're going to be talking about that Canada-Phillies spring training game on March 4th.
Crazy.
It's going to be here before we know it. So looking forward to that. But anything else for you? Cristopher Sánchez better win freaking Cy Young, and Kyle Schwarber better win MVP, but that's about it.
Yeah. No, we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting into these free agent projections and some trade targets. I do think there's quite a few guys out there on various teams that could fit in well with the Phillies in terms of a trade.
Yep.
And the Phillies have some things to offer in terms of a trade. So
That they do.
a lot to kick around.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So thanks for listening to this episode of the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. That's Sean Kane. I'm Spencer McKercher. We'll talk to you guys next week. That plane's landed.